Merry Christmas, y'all. Today's Tuesday. It's Christmas. I hope you're spending your day with family and friends and having an amazing time. Or, like me, just lounging, enjoying time off, eating, drinking wine for breakfast, and reflecting. This is my first Christmas without Ayana in the 13 years of her life. And guess what? I'm just fine. I have a quick story and realization I had before we start the show today with the amazing chef. It's Zoe Kelly. So listen to this. I was with a friend last night, and she has a friend that was completely distraught because she's going through a divorce, and the husband didn't want to bring the baby back until the Christmas day. So yesterday was Christmas Eve, and she's like, "Oh, she's not bringing him back. Like, I want him on Christmas Eve." You know what I'm talking about. She was upset. And my friend is telling me that she wants full custody. She's trying to go to court, that the father has the baby around this new woman and is confusing him, etc., etc. I also had a friend that was going through this a couple of weeks ago saying, oh, now her baby father wants the kids for Christmas and doesn't want to bring them back to after New Year's. All that good stuff that we know. Because, this sounds familiar to you, right? Well, this is something I hear all the time, and I'm not even going to sit here and say that I didn't go through this myself. It happened to me a couple of years ago, but it took me no time to realize that I wasn't doing any of it for my child. I was just being selfish and petty myself, and I wanted to hurt the other adult in the situation because I had been wronged by him. You're not paying child support, you can't see the baby. You have a new girlfriend I know nothing about, you can't see the baby. And the cycle of pettiness goes on. Ladies, and even the fellas, but I'm specifically talking to you ladies because I know exactly how you feel and I've been there. If the father wants to be with the kids for Christmas, let the kid or kids go. Trust me, this child does not care. They don't give three rats ass about opening gifts on Christmas Day or the day after Christmas or maybe even after New Year's. They just want the presents. That's it. Just the presents. The sentimental attachment that we have to opening the gifts right at midnight or at 7 a.m. or whatever you do is really bullshit. We do it for ourselves and not the kids. It's like, oh, it's tradition. No, the tradition is for the kids to open up their presents whenever it is with a good spirit, happy, with food around, just having a good time. As long as you're not in front of your kids, as long as you're in front of them with a smile and ready to have a good time, like I said, wherever they are, it's the holidays. Trust me, the child will not care about anything else. We as parents create all of this hostility that ends up hurting our kids, and we think it's the other parent holding them from us. No, we're doing it ourselves, creating this. So if you're without your kid on Christmas, pour up the mimosas, enjoy this time alone because you know that during the year, we're begging for days like this. Like, oh my God, you don't come and pick up the kid. Like, I need some time off. Trust me on this one. Pour up, baby. We are just fine. The kids will come home. Trust me. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get started with the show. This is my first time taking the show on the road, and it was not as easy as being, in the studio, but it was so much fun. I got to sit down with Zoe at her kitchen. She made me this lasagna, guys. Oh my God. You have no idea. So if you're in South Florida or you got the coins to fly her out to where you're at, you want her to be your personal chef. But outside of her being a chef, she has an amazing, incredible story. So pour up, put your headphones on, and let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of Shit I'm 30 with me, your host, Carla Ramirez. And today we are in Zoe's house in Miami. This is a long time coming.
Long time coming. You're in my kitchen right now. This is it. This is the kitchen.
Like where the magic happens, where I drool at home, legit. I think I send you at least once a week, I'm licking the screen.
Listen, you always look, like, you know how there's always that one faithful person who will watch your stories, no matter how long they are, you are it. And she's always, and we do the same to each other. We'll always comment like, damn, that looks good. I'm like, oh, you're going to be fucked up tomorrow after after you're pretending to be 21. Like, I know.
And then the next day it comes.
Yeah.
Never drinking again.
Yeah.
No. So thank you for doing this.
Nope. Thank you for having me.
I know you're always busy or you're going somewhere, you have friends over, or you're cooking for somebody, but I was like, I want it to be me.
I would always make time for you.
Good. And we have a similar story. So first of all, yes. Before we go into shit you should know, because we're going to talk about this here. We've known each other for a while.
A long time. Like by the way, the other day I did the math. I was like, we've known each other for over 8 years almost.
Has it been that long?
Yeah. Like 2000, I started working like the nightlife scene, like 2011 or so.
Yeah, it was right
7, 8 years.
before All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy?
So I remember, I was the bottle girl, and you were the door, I think,
Yeah.
right? Did you ever move from the, I think you did
Yeah.
for a minute.
Oh, I was like booty shorts y todo. Like that was it.
With
the good old the good old days. The good old days.
I don't think we ever do bottles together?
I don't think so.
I think I
was
left
working
to a
door.
different club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had left to a different club. Well, before we start about stuff about us, we're gonna do the segment shit you should know.
Okay.
So what extreme? So I was thinking about how we are here right now, and back in the day there was a call for everybody to go to the military, and we don't have that now. I don't think they will call women first; they will call men first, or whatever. But what would be the most extreme thing you would do to not have to be called for the military?
Get pregnant.
Oh, we have that option.
Rah, let's go. I'm like,
shoot me out, hubby, shoot me out.
I'm like, let's get it happening right now.
Oh, you know what? You're right. That's tough though.
Yeah, just get me pregnant, and then like let's just keep.
I didn't know if you were pregnant, you can't go to the military.
Is that it? I mean, I would hope a like pregnant woman's not like fighting in the military. Like,
I guess, but then 9 months later you have the baby, they'll still take you.
I don't know. I mean,
because you can't be pregnant forever.
No, can you like? I mean, I have an autoimmune disease. I can be like, what? I don't know.
I don't know. Well,
I like so much respect to the people who do that.
Absolutely. I just have so much respect
it's
for them
so crazy. Yeah.
So I was reading an article that there was a guy from Syria.
Mm-hmm.
He lived in an airport in Malaysia for 7 months.
Yes, I saw that.
And when I looked at it, I said, what? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So basically the story, his name is Hassan Al-Kontar.
Go ahead.
He's from Syria, living with a work permit in the United Arab Emirates. So basically like Dubai or whatever, the New York of the Emirates. In 2012, he was, Syria refused to renew his passport. Therefore, if you don't have a passport, you don't have a work visa. So his work visa ended. So what he decided to do was stay in the
airport.
No, he stayed in the Emirates
okay,
for a while. He lived for a few more years there until the authorities there stopped him.
Okay.
Now that they're stopped, he's like, well, you need to go. And he's like, well, shit, I cannot go back to Syria. So they were going to send him over to Malaysia. Malaysia has a thing where you can live there without a work permit for 90 days.
Okay.
So he's like, perfect, I'll spend my 90 days. When those 90 days were up, he decided to seek asylum in Ecuador. So he goes over to the airport and he's like, I'm going to go to Ecuador. Where are you from, actually?
Venezuela.
I knew that. I was like, I knew it. I said Venezuela. Other friend asked me.
Neighbors.
He's trying to go to Ecuador. He's about to board the plane. They don't let him board. They're like, your passport is screwed. You don't have a work visa. Like, you need to go back to Syria. He's like, I'm not going back. So he started tweeting. And sometimes you think about, how do we get someone's attention? Like, he's just in distress. He's scared. He doesn't want to go to the military. He knows he's going to die. He's going to get
that's automatic death right there.
Right. And he's been fleeing. So he knows he's going to be in some deep shit. So he decides to start tweeting, and it caught the attention of a Canada, her name is called Canada Caring Society volunteer, Laura Cooper. And it got her attention.
Go Canadians, man. Canadians stay saving everybody.
Listen, Drake is not a nice guy for no reason.
Oh my God.
He's not out here saving these hoes for no reason. So they get in contact with him, and he stays in this airport for 7 months. So from March until recently, so October.
My God.
And until their lawyers, the volunteers, that everyone is trying to get him asylum in Canada. So they expedited it because it usually takes about 24 months. Damn. And they got him this, and he just got to Canada. They're still working on some other things, but he got asylum in Canada.
Wow.
And I'm like,
what a story.
What would you go through to not go to the military because your country's so bad? And I brought it up because I'm thinking, we go through so much shit in this country, and we're like, it's so bad.
But it's really not that bad.
But
like,
it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's more like it's fucked up.
Yeah. Right.
So it's bad for some, and I think that we have to acknowledge that as well. But when we look at other countries, there's some that have it great. Canada has it great, but it's cold as fuck. They can't do what we do here in Miami all the time.
And we're like both in like tank tops,
it's
chilling.
December, like Christmas is coming up. In Canada, they're wearing 20 layers.
Yeah.
So there's a gives and takes for every country. And I think I would take the orange man we have, number 40, what is it, 45, 46? 46, 45.
40, it's in 45?
I thought it was 46. The shitty ass.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
The orange guy. We'll keep him instead of having to deal with being called to the military, like being scared to death, being scared that they're going to kill us, they're going to bomb us, that we won't have any food. Like,
because at the end of the day, at least we have some sort of checks and balances. Like, yes, it's fucked up. Yes, it's not the best, but we have some sort of checks and balances. Like, I'm like I told you, I'm from Venezuela, and it is bad over there. Like, the media here doesn't see it at all. But when I tell you, my grandparents go to the grocery store over there, if they're lucky to even get in the door after waiting for 3-4 hours. My grandfather is 92, 94, has to stand in line in the heat to get like 1 pound of chicken that has to last him a month. Like,
a pound of chicken lasts him a month?
Yes.
And okay, so I just saw recently that there was like the same way they were trying to come into the U.S. and what's it called?
Immigration?
No.
Caravan? The caravan?
People,
yeah.
I saw the same thing over to Colombia.
Yeah.
And they were trying to go to different countries, and it was a video. I don't know. I'll look for it and I'll try to post it.
I think I saw it too, yeah.
And there were some reporters there showing that they're like, we don't have any food.
Nothing.
And they were using the Venezuelan dollars to make stuff
yes, I saw that
Did you
too.
see that
yeah.
video? They were making
So
flowers
sad.
and art out of the money because the money
value
isn't worth anything.
What you're like, literally a hot dog is one person's whole entire month's salary in Venezuela.
Wow.
One hot dog.
So how do they survive? Okay, so we'll go into
It's so crazy.
That was I wanted to, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that'd be great to do with you because you know what it's like to come from a country like that. I wanted to start from the beginning with you because your story is pretty fucking awesome.
It's
like,
crazy, yeah.
You came from nothing. Well, I'm not gonna say nothing, but you came from pretty low to make yourself the American dream.
I literally say that all the time, like, and it sounds so cliche, but I'm living my American dream, and it's because of my parents. Right. And I'm very open about talking about the fact that I am an immigrant, and at one point I was illegal, and it's important for me. My mom's always like, don't talk about being illegal, like that's something you shouldn't be proud of. And I'm like, no, I am proud of it because I want to show people, one, that there's no exact face to what an illegal immigrant. First of all, I hate illegal. Like, like
you came here for a reason.
Undocumented. Or what? Yeah.
Yes.
And
so technically it is illegal, but it's not like you stole something.
Right.
You're
not
here stealing anything.
We were never on like any financial assistance, or we paid taxes. Like, we tried to do everything by the book except not like we overextended our visa. But so yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Ask you, how did it start? How did you get here?
Yeah, so I was born in Venezuela. I lived there till I was 7. And right when we left was September of 90. Let's see, I was 7. Carry the one. No, just 98.
I got here 96.
Okay. And around then was when Chavez, the previous president, was right about to go. And I think my mother had like some kind of instinct, but she saw like there's opportunity in the States. And originally we were like supposed to come here for business, buy a whole bunch of jeans and denim and like Abercrombie, like things like name brand stuff,
and sell it over there.
And sell it over there. That was like the whole point. But we sold everything. We lived in a pretty nice apartment, but we sold everything, all the furniture, all my toys. Yeah, everything to be able to come here. And then my father came here for 6 months, worked at car washes, like whatever he could work at with like no papers. And good. Okay. And then he sent money for us to come. We came, and it was originally supposed to be a 6-month thing.
Where'd you go at first?
Orlando.
Okay.
That's why I was like, I never know who to rep. I'm like, I was living in Orlando, then I moved to Tampa, then Orlando again. So I'm just kind of like all over Florida. But then we lived here, and then right before we were about to go back to Venezuela, we realized like things were really bad. And my mom's like, maybe we should stay.
Did people know that Chavez was going to be that bad?
No.
Okay.
No, people voted for him, like just like they voted for this lovely person in office.
Clearly, yeah,
like
he got there.
like
someone got him in there.
Yeah, like he told people like, we can all like in the whole social.
So he sold the dream.
Yeah, sold the dream, and of course it sounded good at the moment. And then it started going bad. So around that time we were supposed to go back, and God intervened because I went to the doctor's appointment and I had tuberculosis for some reason. Like, it was so crazy. They're like, you can't fly. You have your tuberculosis positive.
I always hear tuberculosis. What is it?
It's I think it's like something that grows in your lungs or something. I was so little, I didn't understand.
Oh.
But they were just like, you can't leave. So until she gets treatment. So I got treatment, and we ended up overstaying our welcome.
Okay.
And then at that point,
which is the visa.
Right.
And what was the visa for? It was like a work
tourists.
visa?
We're here as tourists. So we weren't even supposed to, my parents weren't even supposed to be working. So then that's how we ended up from being here legally to quote unquote illegal.
Okay.
And that was for 8 years, like 8-9 years that we were undocumented.
So working without a visa? Under the table?
Under the table, like, it's very common for people to get like fake social security numbers and things like that.
My uncle sold his.
Yeah.
He's heavily into drugs. So my mom's brother, he
happens.
He sold his in LA to a Mexican.
Yeah.
For good money, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good money.
I'm not sure like the entire details of how my parents did it, but they did it. And that's how kind of the whole kitchen thing came into my life, because I've always cooked. But my parents, when they came to this country, they started working in restaurants because that's kind of where you can get in, where you fit in,
And
kind
you,
of thing.
And you know how to cook.
Yeah. And so
You have flavor.
Yep. And so my dad worked from his way up from being a dishwasher at a restaurant all the way to the sous chef, which is like the assistant to the chef.
Was he a chef though? Did he go
No.
to he just learned
No.
himself? Okay.
So that's kind of where I pick up. I always say like my dad taught me like the technique of cooking because of where he worked, and my mom taught me the soul of cooking because that's
I
just,
never. So
that's
I
also
don't know
my
if
mom.
you had it on your YouTube, and I probably
Yeah,
didn't watch
yeah.
that part. But I always wondered, like, where did it come from? How did you learn? Did you
Yeah.
teach yourself on YouTube? But no, you had your dad right there doing it. Okay.
I remember I was like 8 years old and my dad was like, don't you cut an onion like this. And like, I learned like basic knife skills from when I was very, very
you told
young.
Ayana that on the video.
I was like, oh my God.
I need to teach you how to cut these onions. And she's like, yeah, she needs to teach me. Yeah, so to this day, you're supposed to be teaching her how to cut onions and peppers.
So it's kind of like how we came to this country, and then kind of like how, you know, cooking came into my life.
Then going to finish off, because now you're not undocumented anymore.
No.
How was that process? Because was Trump already president when that happened?
No, this was a while ago. This was in 2012 or 11, I want to say, that I became an American citizen.
Why do I feel like I just did something, then someone else just got theirs?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, mine was like about 5-6 years ago. But
because I remember yours.
Yeah, that was so crazy. And that was because my mom, my parents split up, and my mom remarried a Cuban, and we were able to get like asylum, not asylum. We were able to get papers through him, which was, I think, the only thing that I liked about that marriage of my mother's, because like that helped us out a lot.
Like a green card, kind of.
Yeah, we were able to get a green card, and I was able to go to college, because until that point, I was a really good student in high school, and I was terrified. That's why the DACA program and all that stuff is like, that hits home.
I remember you talking about.
I hate being like political, but that's my story.
Right,
like
it's not political. That's what you live.
Yeah, and I hate when people are like, you know, these students. I was like, dude, I could have been one of those students. I was this close to having
even
like
kids on DACA. They're paying tuition.
Yeah,
aren't they?
Like full state, I think. Like yeah.
So it's not like they're going to an education for free. It's still being paid for.
And I remember like in high school when everyone was getting around to applying for colleges, I was like, damn, I don't even know if I can even apply to a college because I don't have a social security number. Like, and I was so terrified. And thankfully,
so scary.
Everything worked out. And I was able to. I went to UCF. But it's such a real thing.
Rant the other day about Cubans and Hispanics and a lot of Hispanics because they have voted for Trump. So I'm going to do an episode on colorism within the Hispanic community.
Ooh, girl, you're in the right place. Welcome to Miami.
It was somebody really big, which I'm really excited about. So when I'm thinking about it, a lot of it, remember, this is for Florida. This county, are you?
Yeah, Miami-Dade.
Yes. And Broward.
Broward.
I'm thinking of Broward.
Broward.
It was so close.
Yeah.
And we're thinking, with all these people of color here, why is it so close? And people don't understand that there's so many white Hispanics that don't realize that just because you're blonde with blue eyes, baby, or just because you got money, or just because where you come from or your background, you're still nothing but a nigga to these crackers.
Yep.
And when they're like, why do you say it like that? Because I'm not saying people that happen to be white or anything like that. There are legit racist people that it doesn't matter how white you are as a Hispanic, how much money you have, you're still a person of color.
Yep.
You're still not them. You will never have white privilege, doesn't matter how white you are.
Yep.
So you're voting hoping that they'll accept you.
Nope.
And they're making you think that they will, but the moment that they're in power, you're done.
Adios.
And then they wonder sometimes why don't these Hispanics stand up for us? Because they're scared.
Mm-hmm.
You might have your papers now, but you might have a cousin or a friend that if you stand up and bring light to you, it's going to bring light to them and then they get deported. So that's why a lot of Hispanics don't stand up and don't speak up. Why? Because it's a fear. So yes, African Americans can stand up because where are they going to send them? No, they're not sending them back to Africa. Right. They're Americans. African Americans. Hispanics, a lot of them outside of Puerto Ricans, had to come here either illegally with papers, with a visa. I'm the only Hispanic community that can come here legally. Yeah. Because we're part of the country. So that's one of the reasons when you say now, you're scared. You're scared to even apply.
There's so many people that I know, like, within, like, you would never know that they're here, like, quote unquote undocumented, can't get a driver's license, or even scared to just ask questions because it's so like
don't know who you're asking.
you, especially now with this whole ICE situation, like. And mind you, ICE has been around. Like my mother had to hide from ICE when she was working. Crazy.
No.
ICE rolled up at a Florida Mall. My mom used to work at a restaurant in Florida Mall in the food court, and was like, I need to see your papers. I need to see your papers. So like everyone there, and it's mostly immigrants. So people literally ran out the back, and my mom hid in the walk-in, like behind boxes and stuff. And she came home crying and crying. It was so scared because they thought they were going to deport her. Like that's a real thing, and it's a reality that we live here today. And it's
we have that privilege that they can't. ICE is not coming to our house or to our employment agency or wherever we're at. But it happens, and with all these things that you have been through, and seeing your mom come.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. It's mostly my parents. I've seen it firsthand through my parents. I've been fortunate.
You had it firsthand too. You didn't know if you should apply to college.
Yeah.
And you went to college. You did it. So I should have told your mom not to make no damn Cuban.
Girl, I tried.
She's still with him?
No.
Oh, good. We can try.
Oh no. He turned out to be like, the dogs.
They're fine.
He turned out to be like a domestic violence abuser, so yeah, we're not even gonna go there. Back to the colorism thing. That like, I'm very glad you brought that up. Especially, I've been living here in Miami for now about 2.5 years. Listen, like my husband is one thing. He's from the Cayman Islands. Okay. He's never seen himself as Black until he got to this country to study. He came here for culinary school.
Right, because he's a chef.
Right, he's a chef. And he's his background, he's Cuban, Panamanian, German, like a little bit of every.
He has a mix.
But when you're in the Caribbean, it's like you're brown, everyone's brown.
Right.
It wasn't until he got to this country, specifically Miami, where people started telling him like, or treating him differently or acting differently. Sorry. The pups are
okay.
crying.
The dogs want to talk too. They want to talk about how
the pups are going crazy.
Because see, the one dog is black and white, and they don't treat the white part of the dog. They only see the black side,
God.
And the other one's brown.
She's loud for no reason.
So the dogs know what's going on in Miami.
But yeah, like we'll go out to like especially like Latin restaurants around here, and they will stare at my husband up and down to the point where he has to point it out to me because I'm pretty fair skinned, you know, I don't really get like, you know, side looks and things like that, but my husband does. And he'll point it out to me. He's like, do you see what's going on? I was like, what's going on? And he's like, everyone in the restaurant is staring at us. And I'm like,
in a Latin restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's because, so he looks Hispanic.
He does, but he's still dark skinned. Yeah.
So he looks Hispanic, and within I remember being told when I was little, no traiga ningún negro para acá.
Oh, same.
And what did I do? I brought the one that's dark as the microphone. And like, I made sure they were black.
I remember back in the day, my mom's like, I hope you don't marry a negro because I wouldn't know what to do with her hair. I wouldn't know what to do with her hair. And I'm like, you better learn, sis, because I went black and I never went black. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they say.
I mean, I don't know. That's what they say.
I never went anywhere, so I just never went anywhere else.
Basically.
Yeah, I stayed with the black. But we do have really, really bad colors in the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely like.
I can't wait to listen to that episode.
That was gonna be really
yeah.
Because I've dealt with a lot of that stuff. Anyway, so you go to school at UCF, you move around, and bro, how the fuck did we go from you're working at the club to you moving to Tampa, and then you're on fucking TV?
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
It happened out of nowhere. So I know that you've always loved food or whatever, but I just remember one day you saying, I'm going to be on TV, and it's not like you were going to be on a local television.
No.
I was like, I want to do that. Network.
Yeah, so that...
Like, big people. What? Explain.
So that was like 2-3 years of my life. So after I graduated college, like no one tells you what to prepare for emotionally after you graduate college. Mind you, I'm a type A type of person. I'm like, I have a plan for a plan and a plan for that plan if that plan doesn't work. And so I had all these ideas. I was going to move to Atlanta to be an actress because I was going to acting school at the time.
You did some commercials, didn't you?
Yeah, I was always on camera somehow. Yes. I always like acting and entertainment. And so I was, doing that whole acting thing. I was like, I'm going to move to Atlanta to be an actress, and this is it. But first I got to move back home to save a little bit of money. So I was working at a nightclub there, and I hit such a depression, like so bad that like I was never prepared for that kind of depression in my life. And it was like a solid 4 months that I didn't even realize I was sad. Or should we bring them in?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Can you open the door?
It's not super loud, but then it's gonna keep going.
I can start again.
And at this exact moment, we almost lost our lives. Listen to this.
Who's out there?
So yeah, no, it's like camera. Oh shit!
Yes, that was literally fire, electricity, and a bulb that went on fire in the house.
Turn it off. How did we get it? Oh, it's fire.
Oh my god!
Holy shit! Was it all caught on camera?
My god, come here. Inside. Oh my god, wow. Inside. Go inside. Inside. Oh my god.
That just happened.
Riley. Inside.
Yeah,
Come on. Inside. Oh my fucking god. Yo.
We almost died. Yo, we almost died.
There was all the fire. We were all
I was like, yo, let's go!
holy shit. Okay, well at least we got some footage, so we're good. Holy shit.
With everything that just happened, let's take a quick break. Today's episode is brought to you by Lola. Lola is a female-founded company offering a line of organic cotton tampons, pads, liners, and all-natural cleansing wipes. It's Christmas, and Lola literally made one of my gifts so much easier. Lola is a company founded by women for women. Did you know that the FDA doesn't require brands to disclose a comprehensive list of ingredients in their feminine care products? So most of them just don't. Lola offers complete transparency about the ingredients found in their tampons, pads, liners, and wipes, and you know I love transparency. I really love the convenience of Lola also, so I got a subscription for my daughter, and they delivered it right to my door in a small discreet box, personalized to have the right variety just for her. Now, she will be receiving her very own monthly subscription, and I don't have to worry about going to the store and get products that aren't even good for her. This is the product that is 100% natural, with no mystery fibers and that can potentially hurt her. So I'm all for it, and I want you ladies to do the same. So ladies and fellas, you can also do this for your ladies. I'm teaming up with Lola to gift to you 40% off all subscriptions. Visit mylola.com and enter promo code Carla when you subscribe. Again, that's promo code Carla, C-A-R-L-A. Let me know how much you love it when you receive it. Now, let's get back to the show.
So after I graduated, I went back home to Tampa. And there was like 4 months where I hit a really bad depression, like super bad, where like everything wasn't going my way. And I've always been a very positive person. Things have kind of, I'm fortunate to be like, things happen for me because I manifest them into my life. But it was such a dark point because like I was like, everything I was like, please, I want to move to Atlanta, please. And nothing was fucking happening.
Didn't you move to Atlanta for a minute?
No.
Oh, you never did it?
I had a little boo out in Atlanta. So I was in Atlanta a while. Yeah. Okay. And then, so 4 months and all of a sudden I started getting really sick. And mind you, I was still working at the nightclub in Tampa because I was like, this is great money. I'm going to save and da-da-da. And I got really, really sick. I was losing mad weight. Every morning I'd get up sick, throwing up, dizzy. Yeah, I did that. And I was like, and even then, like, I was like, nothing's up. And then I would like walk from here to maybe like the balcony there and I would get out of breath. And it was just so, like really weird things. And people were like, oh, well, maybe you're having anxiety attacks and you don't realize it. Went to a therapist and then like did my therapy, still was having it. So after going to a whole bunch of doctors and stuff, they're like, we don't really know what's going on with you. Long story short, I ended up having an autoimmune disease that we're pretty sure was dormant my whole life. And in that period of stress was when it was like activated. So I had to stop working.
What's it called?
It's called Addison's.
Okay.
It's, yeah.
I remember you saying
and it's my adrenal. I don't want to like get into it, but it's like so basically, yeah. And I get very, very tired. And so all those were my symptoms. And so I couldn't work. I was unemployed for 3 months. And mind you, I was used to getting I was like, I'm used to getting $300, $400, $500 a day, like a night working, going from that to nothing. So that was when my faith was tested. And during that time, because I wasn't allowed to work, I was on the couch a lot, just watching TV. Well, guess what I was watching? Food Network. Yes. So, and I always loved cooking. And I mean, back in college, people would come to my apartment. And like, that was like the spot to be on Sundays because I was doing some fucking box mashed potatoes with fucking like pre-made pork chops, but they were fire. Like
you can make fire box mashed potatoes?
This was back in college, like.
Oh, so it tasted good back then.
Yeah. Like I would make the steamed vegetables, and I was like, yeah, I'm a chef, bitch. What? Like, but it all led to like where I am now. Of course. So I've always liked cooking. And so I was just watching the Food Network, and even though I didn't have a lot of energy to cook, I would pull up my little chair next to the oven, and my mom would buy groceries and I would cook. And it was like simple shit. But for me, I was raised in a household where we had arepas every single day. Like I wasn't trying like other worldly cuisines and like fucking pot roast, like American shit. I never.
Because I see you with some things and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
That a real thing?
Yeah. But like I never knew like anything besides the little world that I lived in, which was arepas, arroz con habichuela, arroz con pollo, maduros, tostones, like, you know what I mean? That's where I was raised on. So during that period of my life, I was like, okay, wow, there's a whole other world of food I never knew about. So I was inspired during that time. And then I ended up moving to DC on a whim. Like this is one of the craziest stories. So I had a little boo.
When did you go? I was pretty sure.
You know, it's always a guy. Always a guy. I had a guy out in DC that he's like, oh, come visit me for a week. Like, I know you're having a really bad time. I'll fly. I got flued out.
You got flued out?
In Frontier. I got flued out in Frontier.
Did he pay for the bag?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he paid for the bag?
I got flued out. But I had no money at the time. So he's like, I know you're going through a hard time. Like, come. And at that point, I already got on my medication for my Addison. So I was starting to feel like myself again, gaining weight and getting my energy back. And I went out there, again, unemployed. I had $20 in a credit card that was almost maxed out.
That's so stressful.
And while he was working, he was like, why don't you just look for a job? It's like, what's the worst that can happen? I was like, you know what? You're right. So while I was there, I applied to like random ass jobs on Craigslist. Like I applied to 10 and I had 3 interviews. I'm like, I didn't bring interview clothes. I came to fucking vacation in DC. So I went to H&M and like bought like $20 pants and a little cute. Hell yeah. I was like, I have money for this shit. I kept the tags y todo. And then I went to the interview and I ended up getting it. And then I accepted the job. My flight was supposed to leave on Sunday. And then Tuesday, the job was starting. So I never went back home. I just ended up staying in DC. And this is when I realized, like, you put me up.
What did your mom say?
She was like, I mean, if you're going to do it, then do it.
What was the job?
It was working at a real estate thing. It ended up being
a desk job.
Yeah, it ended up being for 2 months, and then that led me to something else. But that was one of those moments in my life I was like, that mentality of what's the worst that can fucking happen really was like, whoa, if I can just jump and I know God will catch me, I was like, I can do anything. So that moment kind of set it off for me. And so long story short, after I broke up with, my boyfriend at the time, I started living in DC by myself. And that was like my big, like, yo, I'm a fucking woman. Like, I can pay $1,400 rent by myself and work 2 jobs by myself and do this. Like, it was such an inspiring moment. And I was like, you know what? What is something that I want for myself? I was like, I want to be on the Food Network. I learned English by watching Food Network when I first came to this country. I was like, Food Network was like my thing when I was sick. I was like, let me just go. So I started Googling like everything. I was like, who do I got to talk to? I was like, what production company? And like, because I kind of knew the industry a little bit, I was like, I need to go to the production companies.
How do you know the industry?
When I did acting.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I always knew that like the networks are not really where you go. You go to the production companies who sell to the network. So I started Googling, and then I submitted an application to like Guys Grocery Games or something. And I was like,
that show.
Dude. And I was like, I feel like I have a good chance. Like, I'm a pretty girl. I have a story to tell. And, I'm not the best cook, but I'm getting there. And I sent it in, and a week later they called me. We're like, hey, we got your application. Yes, it happened fast. God. And they were like, we really think that you'd be a better fit for this show called All-Star Academy. And it's a 8-week-long show versus this 1-day show. And, we think you'd be really good. Do you want to apply? I was like, yes, let's do it. I applied, sent in like a 10-minute video of, hey, this is
10 minutes?
Yeah.
So did you edit that yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a friend in DC, and I was like, come here, record me cooking in my little studio apartment, my iPhone. Yeah. Like, I've made it fucking work.
People
like,
say, I don't have it. Yes,
no,
look at what you have in your house.
I made it work. I was like, it was dark, but I made it work. And then, I just showed my personality in cooking. sent it in, and then I sent it in late too. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get, and I just sent it in anyway. I was like, one thing, a life lesson of mine that I've learned is never tell yourself no. You can allow other people to tell you no, but when you stop yourself and say, I can't do something, or, oh no, they're not, like, you're limiting so much.
Should be out of your
exactly. It's like, if other people can tell me no, go ahead. And I'll even still fight back if they tell me no. But you should never tell yourself no.
Right.
So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna send it in, it's late. I don't care. Send it in. Literally a few hours after I sent it in, they called me right away.
Stop.
I guess they were like, had me like pinpointed or something. I don't know. And they're like, we really love you. Can we talk to you for an hour? And I was like, literally, I was pulled up outside SCK. I used to work at SCK in DC. I was like, yo, fuck my job right now. I was like, yes, let's talk for an hour. And I went to an audition in New York.
And they pay for everything. For the audition.
Did they pay for? I think they paid for, my bus trip. I had like a bus trip to New York because I was in DC.
Okay.
So it wasn't bad. And I like, they tasted my food. I did an on-camera thing, a whole bunch of other phone calls. And then finally, I was at work at SDK and I got the call. It was all the producers were in the room. Hey, Zoe, this is so-and-so. And like everyone's like introducing themselves. We just want to say congratulations. You're on the show. And I was like, like in the middle of fucking like service night at dinner shift. And I'm like, people thought like someone died because I just started crying. And that's kind of like how that Food Network show came to happen. I was the youngest one on the show, went all the way to the finale, like top 3. Really and
it's like every week I'm like, damn,
bro, it was insane.
You couldn't tell anyone anything?
Not while we were shooting. It was once we like announced that this is this show is.
Can you tell people that whether you want or not?
No, I wasn't supposed to.
That's what I'm saying. You were like in a confidential.
Yeah. Oh, I signed my life away.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you regret that?
Not really.
What did you?
I mean, it was within limitation. I couldn't do any other like food shows within the year of me being on Food Network. It's pretty standard. It's like because you're still like right now the show is on internationally.
Your show?
Girl, yeah, I'm in Venezuela right now. What's that? Yeah.
Wait, but as bad as it is over there, do they have TVs to watch it?
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
some people.
Okay.
Yeah, some people do.
But yeah, they took away the name.
I know.
I'm like, honestly, I think about how do they live? Like, you can't be overweight over there.
No, everyone's like underweight right now.
Like, there's no
really
way.
Bad, yeah.
Okay, so you go and you were with what's the guy's name?
Andrew Zimmern.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate his name because it makes me think of.
And Zimmerman. Yeah.
And I'm just like
I know Andrew Zimmern.
But I love him.
I call him AZ.
Yes.
Or Papa AZ. I swear to God, like that man is heaven sent. Like it was. So the show, if you watch it, you can probably watch it on demand now. We got to pick.
What's the basis of it?
It's kind of like The Voice, but like for cooking is how I'd explain it. So each one, there's 2 team members on each team.
Everyone's an amateur?
Everyone's an amateur. And then we have, your celebrity coach. And we got to pick our mentor. And something told me, like, I was really drawn to Andrew because of his globalness. Right. And I could relate to it. But man, like, he is incredible. There's so many people in the industry that you meet that you're like, damn, I wish I didn't meet you because you're a fucking asshole.
There was a cute one.
Oh.
The cute chef. I said, why did she even pick the cute chef?
No, man. It worked out. Like now
you were strategic about it.
Andrew and I literally text him industry questions and he'll respond. Like he'll take 2 days, but he'll still respond. So and like when I got engaged and I didn't tell him, he was like, I'm really upset. I had to find out through Twitter that you got engaged. And I was like, you care about my life like that? But he's like a mentor for life. Like there's like, I can never say anything bad about him.
Amazing. Now, when you finished the Food Network, all of a sudden it was like...
Boom.
Univision, and Goya, and this, and I'm like, all these doors opened for you from there.
So after I got off the Food Network, then people were like, hey, can you come cook for me at my house? And I was like, sure. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to like charge people or anything like that.
But
and
you use GOOGLE, like I tell everyone.
What is that?
Google.
Oh, Google. I was like, I'm really bad. If people spell something out, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes, they're like,
okay, Google. My whole life.
Google, and you everything. Literally talk to Google like it's your homie.
Yeah.
Like Google, so how do I get onto the Food Network?
Yeah, literally. That's exactly what I did.
Google,
That's why, look, I'm not against like helping other people, but it's like, you got to help yourself before I can help you.
Yes.
No absolutely. One, like, and it's not more to be malicious or anything like that, but it's like, you need to show intent. for yourself first before someone can help you. I'm not going to vouch for you if you haven't tried to like help yourself out. So everyone, I get so many messages like, how did you get on Tastemeat? How did you get on Food Network? How are you where you are? And I'm like, you got to help yourself first. Like,
right. You definitely do. There's ways of Googling first, or instead of asking how they do, like, what agency did you use?
Yep.
Like, who did you go to? What email did you use?
What production company did you talk to? Yeah.
That one, I'll know you already made some type of research. Even if someone that were to listen to this and they're like, oh, how did she become a chef? Or how did she get, oh, maybe I should listen to that. Because I do that with podcasting too.
Yeah.
I want to know how to do something. I go on the podcast on iTunes and I search an episode that's about that.
There's so much information out there that it's like, if you're not helping yourself, like,
you have.
I get so mad at my husband for doing that. Like, I'm like, just Google it. Like, I don't know. I never did this because I'm like, Google it. Like,
so bad. I hate when people do that. So now it seems to the world, you've taken off. You're so successful now, right? Dike, she's rich. Dike, she's got
Dike, I got popping once funny story. When the first episode that premiered on Food Network, I finished the show in November of 2015 and I moved to Miami January 2016. Okay. And I shit you not, I was homeless at the time. Like, I didn't have any money at all to move to Miami.
Right, for this?
No, it was unpaid. And
while you're there for the 8 weeks, everything's paid for?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Everything was paid for. But when I moved to Miami, it was like, I was like $0. Like, it was just really bad. So I was staying at my best friend's house, like on her couch. So people were like, yo, you're famous now, you're popping. I was like, I'm homeless, bitch. I don't have any money, but thank you.
Do you want to get some?
Yeah.
$5?
Yeah. So it was pretty, like, that's when I realized, I'm like, yo, people are obsessed with like this concept of fame. And I will never, I don't understand why people are like, I want to be famous. I'm like, you could be famous for anything. Like, I want longevity. I want a career. I want money that I can invest. Like, fuck fame. Like, if it comes, it comes.
What did you do from that couch? Because now the show's over.
Yeah.
How are you feeding yourself the food?
I was working at SDK here in Miami, and then I ended up going back into, so in DC, I was working at a radio station after I quit that real estate job. Well, they fired me. Anyway.
You know what? Everyone who's ever successful gets fired at one point in time.
She fired everybody right before the Christmas because she didn't want to pay people's insurance the next year. I was like, yo, you are petty. Like, literally a week before Christmas, you're gonna fire your whole office. Okay, thanks. Anyway,
people like that, karma.
Yeah, it was meant to be. But I ended up working at a radio station in DC, and then when I moved here, I didn't really want to work at a radio station again because I realized
that's crazy. I didn't know that because that's where
I realized like I didn't like that because it's very like people think the entertainment side of the radio station is awesome and it is fun, but there's also an administrative side that's just like any other corporate job. Yeah, you get perks, it's fun, but it's still
a corporate job.
And so that's where I was at. I was like making sure all the commercials were in the right place, etc. And I was good at it, but I didn't like it. Right. And so when I moved to Miami, the opportunity presented itself to me. Hey, we have this job here doing the same thing basically that you were doing in DC. And I was like, I really don't want to do it, but I need the money. So I was like, fuck it. Let me just do it and suck it up. Ended up being there for 2 years. Right. And in that meantime, I was still working at like private chef jobs here and there. And I met my husband when I moved to Miami.
Where'd you meet him?
He slid in my DMs, girl.
Oh, what did he say? Well,
he was so professional. I couldn't even be mad. He was like, good evening, my name is Jordy Rankin and I have a pop-up. I'm a culinary student at Johnson & Wales and have a pop-up dinner coming up and I would love to have you because he saw my friends like posted me for the Food Network and he gave me his email address. He's like, you can RSVP to here, but I would love to have you as a guest. And I saw his page. I was like, you are so cute and you can cook. I was like, get in my panties. Thank you. Okay. Because at the time I was like, he hates when I say this. At the time I was like, I'm new in Miami. I'm going to wild the fuck out. I'm in the city with my best friend.
Oh, you guys.
We're going the fuck. Wild. I was like, yo, dating. What's up? Like you get me flued out. Like what? Like I was just ready to have fun. I was so ready to have fun. And then I met him and it was like, as soon as like literally the day we hung out, we just never stopped hanging out after that. It was like, it was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Yeah. And it came together through food.
Yeah.
I'm having a pop-up food thing.
Yeah. So that's how we met is through Instagram. But he was super instrumental into like where I am now because he taught me the because he did go to culinary school. So he taught me like the business side of food, like how to cost things out and how to, make sure that you're doing this right. And
so at this point, you're just doing little things here and there.
Yeah.
I remember you and I talking. I think I first sent you a message when I was going to start the blog.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I think I'm going to start a blog.
I was like, go for it, bitch.
Dude, I was scared of starting the blog. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do this. I remember telling you about that.
I was like, I think I remember being like, why are you scared? Like, who the fuck cares?
Like, I didn't even know why it was in me to speak to you about it. I have no idea. I talked to you about it, and then I started the podcast, and I'm like, I think I'm going to go with the podcast.
Yeah.
And you're like, do it. Cool, I started the podcast. And in one of those times, you're like, and I think I want to quit my job.
Yeah, we were talking. I think why this is so special right now is because we are literally like having parallel lives in different fields. But you, me, and Ivana, like you guys are like, without knowing it, you guys are like, and I don't think Ivana even knows it, but you guys are literally like my like go-to people on Instagram. Ivana, we were reading the same book at the same time, that You're a Badass, me and Ivana. Yes. At the same time, and we're like constantly like messaging him, like, "Yo, this," and
had that little
thing. And we were talking. I was like, "Yo, I want to quit my job. I'm scared." And at that point, by the way, chefs don't make a lot of money. My husband and I, like, we were not. Well, he wasn't making a lot of money. I was the primary breadwinner in the family, so I was like, I can't quit my job. Mm-hmm. I was like, the insurance is through my job. Like, I can't. But every single day I'd go to work, I was like, I know this is not where I'm supposed to be. I was working now with Tastemade.
It's like a crippling like feeling.
Oh.
Like you get there and your soul, your body, and this is not
every cell in your body is like, yes. I am not supposed to be here.
And sometimes I get scared of saying or having a conversation like this on the podcast because some people a lot are sitting at a desk the same way that I was.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, they feel that way because they want to work on their own. No. Because really my dream is to work in radio. Honestly, outside of this podcast, which is my dream and keep
and you will do it.
I want to be in radio. That's where I'm shooting that as my dream. I'm not giving up.
You're going to be.
I'm going
Change your language, girl.
So when I sit at that radio station, when I get there, I'm still in a corporate job. I'm still working for the man.
Yeah.
He's still telling me what I can and cannot say.
Word.
But I will not feel the same way as I felt as an accountant.
Right.
So for some people that are listening right now, and we're going to keep going with the conversation, is your dream might just not be that office. It might be a different office.
Right.
It might still be working for someone. So it might still be a job, but it's a job that you love.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily entrepreneurship.
And it's not that like, yo, fuck a 9-to-5, because like everyone's always like, yo, fuck 9-to-5. There's nothing wrong with 9-to-5s. But the problem comes when you find your passion, when you find that thing that you're good at. And at the time, I was like, this cooking thing is my shit. Like, and I'm good on being on camera. I'm good talking to people. I'm relatable. Like something's clicking and things are working for me, not against me with this cooking thing. I was like, I like coming to work was like almost like I would get calls. I'm like, hey, can you come cook for us? I was like, I'm at work. Like, and that sucked because I'm like, this is what I really want to do. So making that leap was I'll never forget the day.
How did you do it though? Did you save a certain amount of money?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like all over the place.
No, yes. Because some people will say, well, fuck my 9-to-5 and quit. And I know someone who did that. And I'm like,
and sometimes it works.
Well, sometimes it works. But you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
You can just up and quit. Like when you left to DC, you stayed with nothing because you had a job. Something opened up for you.
Right.
You can't just say I'm quitting and then try to find your passion. Without a passion, without a goal, it has to be like a calculated risk.
Yeah, that's what I was talking on my Instagram about that the other day because like people are like, oh, you're doing it. You're doing, you said what you're doing. I was like, yeah, but you guys got to understand that like I was making money from this before I quit my job. Like on the weekends, I was still making money from this. Cooking for people or going to cook on camera. Like this was something that I was doing already. So I wasn't stupid to just jump, right. I knew what I had to do. But yeah, definitely a calculated risk. Like don't be dumb. Don't just jump. I had a plan. My husband and I came up with a plan. We're like, let's save X amount of money. This is what I'm going to do. And guess what? If I don't have any gigs, I'll work for Instacart or I'll go work at your restaurant and get some money that way.
I told my boyfriend that I wanted to Uber or Lyft.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he goes, for what?
No, that's like gas money. That's grocery money.
He's like, no. And I'm like, well, I kind of really want to. And he's like, no, but you don't need the money. And I'm like, well, I don't, but that can be like extra money. Like I like to go out to drink.
Yeah.
So I know I have a budget. I made myself a budget for that, but I gotta have more because you have more drinks.
Yes.
I want to drink and I want to eat out and I want to take certain trips so that way I don't have to tap into that money that I saved. So I think I'm gonna do it. Plus I get to meet people. And I'm gonna be
and you have great stories now for the podcast.
I'm gonna have my friends like, I hate when my Uber drivers talk to me, and I'm like, well, they're gonna want to talk to me.
Yeah.
So, and they don't want to talk.
You'd be like, hey, I'm Carla. Like, introduce yourself.
I'll be one of those. But there are ways to make money on the side. Like,
For
if you don't
sure.
have a car, then okay, you can't think about Uber.
For
Actually,
sure.
you can because you can rent a car from them. Did you know that?
No.
They'll
Fun
give you a car
times.
and you have to pay like, I think it's like $100 and something a week for it.
Oh.
So then the rest, it'll be...
Maybe I should do that because I drive a hoopty. No one wants to... I'm embarrassed to go in my car. But that shit is paid off, okay?
Right.
No car
I was
payments.
telling Carla on the way here. I'm like, my car's 112,000 miles.
Ride that bitch out. Ride it out.
Dies. I'm not talking about if it gets a stroke or if it has a little hiccup there. No, when it's dead, it's dead. I'm going to write it like Carla's Bentley, we used to call it. Well, I was in an episode about it. Like, what was the name of the episode? Living broke, being broke. We used to watch the Broke Rich Gang. We were in Broke Rich.
It died? Okay.
I'm only using clips from it. Yeah, so we were going to, I'm like, I'm going to write it till it dies, so don't get a car payment until...
Yeah, you have to.
Cash. I always talk about Dave Ramsey.
I don't know who that is.
He's a financial advisor.
You put me on Gary Vee, by the way.
Yeah, I love him. And then you did something with him.
That was so crazy. I tweeted something and then one of his people reached out to me to do some kind of campaign, but it just wasn't a good fit. It was like a liquor campaign over a long time, but I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is so crazy.
Yeah, Gary Vee's amazing. I'll put you onto the financial guy.
Okay.
The finance guy, it's against credit.
Okay.
So you can go as extreme with it as you want, but that is with his teachings is how I kind of saved and quit my job.
Yeah.
Like doing that. Anywho.
Yeah, don't be dumb. Don't quit your job.
Right.
Make sure you can make money off of what you want to do first.
For sure.
For a long period of time too. Yeah. Like make sure you're like, okay, I've been making money from this on the side and busting my ass. Like literally what Gary Vee says, like work from 7 to 2 in the morning. Right. Like I was doing that shit too. Like not every day. Like, and I'll be honest, one thing I lack is like self-discipline with certain things, but I was still doing it. So I was like, you know, I know I can fucking do it. And so I know when I have the time, the universe is going to provide me with more opportunities, which is exactly what happened.
Because I'm not a religious person. I always say this, but I'm a very spiritual person.
Same.
So I feel like you speak and I believe there's a God and I think I respect everyone's religion. I don't know how much of certain things that I believe, but I just always say just be positive. Yeah. And if you're any type of negativity is going to come towards you. And once you think about something negative, okay, say what's the worst that can happen?
They say no. And move the fuck on with your life.
You end up broke. Well, okay, now that you're broke, you go do whatever you have to do. Yeah. So I remember you were telling me, I want to quit. And then you sent me a message. Like my last day.
I was like, I'm fucking doing it. Yeah.
And you fucking did it.
It's terrifying.
How much of a fucking relief was it though?
What? I remember like, and I literally made a video because maybe I'll put it together one day as like my life story. But I pulled out my iPhone and it was the night before my last day and I was just crying like nonstop because like people tell you like, yeah, I did this and this. Like they don't tell you how fucking scary it is.
The fear.
Like I don't have insurance right now and I have an autoimmune disease. Like I need insurance and
why don't you do
I'm getting insurance now. Like I had to wait for the plan.
For November.
Yeah. Yes.
Because it's December 15th.
Yeah, I already got mine. Yeah. But like, you know, it's scary, like not knowing where your next paycheck's going to come from and all that stuff. So I had a moment of like, what the fuck am I doing? And like my instinct was, let me pick up my camera and share my thoughts, even if it's just for me. Right. And then the day after I quit my job and like everyone was so positive at my job. They're like, we know. They were like, we know, and you're going to do great. I had, there's a guy at Cox Media, his name is Maestro, and he prayed over me, and girl, I was like crying in his office. Like, and he's like, you have a light, you are destined, you are God's child. And I was like, oh God, but it was such, really like sobbing tears. I was ugly crying, but it was such a positive thing. Everyone was like, go and fucking do it, because we know you're going to do it. So it wasn't.
It's not the passion, and it's not because they know. They saw that passion, that light in you.
And I was using all my PTO days to go work for other fucking, like all my PTO days were being used to go work for something food related. Like, and I was like, and they, you know, obviously they're like, oh, you're going to go shoot for Univision now. Like, but you got work. And I was like, bye, like, excuse me, I'm leaving. This is my dream. So it was, and then so the next day after I quit, I recorded in my car and I was like, whoa, like this feels amazing. And then that next Monday that hit after you don't have to clock in, I'm like, Bitch, what? I woke up and I was like, now what?
The direct deposit did not.
Yeah, I was like, now what? And I'm honestly so thankful of my husband because and I'll be real, and I've talked to you about this like on the side, like there's days where I'm depressed as fuck. And it's not depressed of like, oh, I'm not doing what I want to do. And I'm like, okay, now I'm doing what I want to do. But it's like creative ruts and doubts and that little voice you have in your head.
You just got through to one that you haven't recorded.
Yeah.
Coming in, like I'm going through some things, and I had been going. For me, it's only been 2 months.
Yeah.
So there's been some days that I remember being in bed for 2 days. And I'm like, I have so much to do and I should.
But you don't want to do anything.
I can't. Like, I physically cannot move.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do anything. You just have days. And then the third day, you're like, okay, bitch,
yes.
move. Yes. And then that day, I get so much done.
Yeah.
You know, I got more done in that day than I could have done if I even tried in 2 days.
Yeah.
So what do those days look like for you? Because for me, I'm in bed or just like...
watching Netflix. Like, I don't fucking... or I'm eating all day, like eating and sleeping. And then my husband gets home at like 12 o'clock and I'm like, oh, I got to make it look like I was doing something. So let me clean the house or like something stupid. But then I think the major thing about that is like realizing when those points happen in your life and to be like, it's okay if I'm going through this right now because it's temporary.
Right.
Like,
how important is the support?
Oh, so important. Because my husband will repeat those words back to me. Because when you're in that space, you're like negative. You don't want to hear nothing. Like even your own words, you're like, fuck that. Like what the fuck was I saying? Right. But him telling me like, it's okay. You're allowed. He's like, you don't have to do anything today if you don't want to. Okay. And I was like, okay. And like, I would wake up crying for no reason. So yeah, there's definitely things in days where you're just like, what am I doing? And I think that's like the beauty of entrepreneurship, the beauty of doing what you want to do. But then there's also days where I like will bust my ass working like 16-hour days, like back to back. And I'm flying from LA here. Right. And then when I get here, I'm cooking for somebody. Like in those days, I'm like, yeah.
Right. And then you're done. You're like, I'm tired, but you don't feel, you're
love
not
it.
Exhausted. You're just tired.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, I wish I could do this every single day. Yeah. As tired as you are, you're like, I can do this again tomorrow. Yeah. If it comes, the opportunity presents itself.
It's also about holding yourself accountable while you're working for yourself. That's so hard. And like talk about self-discipline. Like I think I have somewhat self-discipline, but not as much as I should.
There's some people that are so disciplined. I'm like the gym.
What is that? Who?
This bitch right here, Carla. I wake up and she's always in the gym and I'm like, but why? It's so much more fun to get up and eat Cheerios.
I was like, you want lasagna?
Yeah, that's what I want. Like, if you would have taken me, like, yeah, to the thing, we're going to go to the gym, I would have totally made up some lie, like, yeah, so, no, I have this really big recording afterwards, and I would have probably just...
Oh, yeah. My best friend's, like, almost a personal trainer right now. I'm like...
Oh, my God.
Balance fit?
We're friends on... She's my friend, too, but we just never met. We're friends.
You'll meet her this weekend.
We're definitely friends. Yeah, when I see her, I'm like... they're in the gym again. Yes. That's so much fun. And I try to go and I go for a period of time and then I quit. But it's because I don't have a passion for being skinny.
I'm like, my husband loves my fat. Right. He'll grab my thighs like, yeah, it's juicy. I was like, yeah, I'm fat.
So as much as I'm like, ew, when I bend over, it's like in the middle of getting it in and I think there's a roll there. But I don't see him saying ew. So I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up and eat this.
And then there's always a one-piece bathing suit and you're good. Like, cover that bitch up and let's go.
Put a black one on. Good to go. And then you put the shorts on and you look perfectly fine. And then you take the pictures from the angle. You know how to like shape it.
Facetune. Right. What is cellulite? I don't know. Facetune it out.
Who has that? I've never had that.
Never had it.
I wanted so your story is amazing. And I wanted to also at the end I said how important is your support because having the support from someone is very important.
Yeah.
And if it's not family, which I don't have it from family, but I have it either from my boyfriend or I have Carla and I have Mandy in New York and I have like I'll message you and although you guys are not there 100%, I know that when times get hard I have someone that's in the same field and although like let's say Carla's not but I'm going through some shit and I'm like well I'm coming over or come over or let's do something and she'll be down to doing whatever and I can get my hand off for certain things. So just have a few people there. If you're going through something, if you're going through a big transition in life. Right. It is a transition
it's huge. It's huge. I've been doing it now for 6 months. Literally a few days ago was 6 months to the day. And I was like, holy shit. Like we talked about, there's definitely days where you need that support system. Right. And to be honest, most of the time it's us talking to a microphone or talking to a tripod at home. You don't really see people. Like I'm such a homebody and sometimes I have to step out and do something that's not cooking to kind of give myself a mental break of like, all right, there's stuff
there's so much food, but sometimes you're like, okay, like I'm tired of seeing the same thing or the same stove.
Or I'm sure for you, it's like, you know, I don't want to talk about my opinion. Like, let's just fucking watch a movie, or like, you need that mental break.
Yeah, it's scary. Or sometimes I'm like, what am I going to talk about next?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what guest do I want? Because I'll have people send me messages, I want to be on your podcast, but I'm like, what do you have to say? You just want to be on the podcast. There's not much for you to say. And I'm looking for, I have to like start. What's next for you?
Man, everyone says English is not my first language, and sometimes like my random accent will pop out. That's such a weird question because
you're open to whatever comes.
Yeah, you know, I think I realized like that whole thing of like let go and let God. Like I did that at 24. I was in a trip to Costa Rica that I ended up going by myself, which I recommend to anybody. Like, take a trip by yourself to somewhere you've never been. It is the most magical, most humbling.
I go to Africa. Listen, this is what they tell us. She's like, where was it? It wasn't Africa though. You said you were going somewhere else.
I said Africa, Egypt, I think.
Egypt by yourself?
Yeah, something like that. She was going. Oh, it was Africa. She's like, I'm going. Beyonce did it. Who did it?
Alicia Keys.
She said she's about to stop. She's not no makeup. No, she's gonna go backpacking through Africa by herself. And I'm like, okay, relax.
No, do it.
And then I'm like,
just be safe. But
then
yeah,
I was like, Alicia Keys. And I was probably, you know what? I was probably a bad friend.
She's like, you're dumb.
You're a fucking hater. You're like, what the fuck, you're crazy? You can go do that in your backyard.
Go camping.
Oh my God.
You can go to fucking Oakridge and see all the fucking Africa.
Go to Animal Kingdom and fucking do a safari.
I probably did say Animal Kingdom. I was Kyla.
Stop.
I apologize.
I was like, well, fuck you, bitch. I'm gonna go to Africa. And
You go to Africa, Carla.
She was mad for it. And now that I think back to it, I think I was still at work and I was having my own fears. You know when they say
you project your own,
project what they feel about themselves to someone else. So when she said that to me, I was having the fear of not wanting to work where I was.
Got a job, so I
Wait, I don't think you were working there either.
I was working. I was about to quit.
It was before you quit?
And I was like, yo, I can't take it.
Oh, okay. So my fear at the time was, I don't have any money. Like, yeah, I don't have the money saved up. I can't go anywhere. Like, blah, blah, blah. I can't leave my job.
Yeah.
So when she's telling me I'm going to Africa,
you're
I'm
like, no.
Go to Pine Hills if you want to see niggas. Go to Oak Ridge.
Oh my
Stay in
God.
your backyard with the heat when it's real hot, and just don't go back inside. You don't want to feel the AC?
Oh
don't go
my
back inside. She's like,
God.
I need to expand my mind. I said, well, come over. You can sit in the living room. I won't talk to you.
I'll play National Geographic on my large screen TV.
I was such a bitch. Oh my God.
Damn.
So, and people have done that since. That is so bad. You know what?
Boom. There you go. But yeah, definitely. So I did that, and I was.
You were scared? How long did you
I
go?
was fucking.
How long did you go?
I was there for a week.
2 months.
I was there for a week. I went to Costa Rica, but then again, I was like a calculated risk because I was like, I know the language. Like at the end of the day, I can speak Spanish, you know. Right. But it wasn't like that big of a culture shock. But it was really lit. So I that trip.
Were you like backpacking?
No. It was like supposed to be like a romantic trip for two, and then this fuck boy at the time like ended up like not going. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going. Everything's paid for. Peace. And I went by myself, and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. But then like when I got there, I was like, no, this is exactly how it's supposed to be. I was like, this is exactly. I planned this trip for myself without even realizing it. Like,
so you went on like excursions and did all
all that shit by myself. Yeah, yeah, it was fun. And then so that trip, I was like, I let go and let God, and I literally said, I was like, God, like, and again, not religious, just spiritual. Right, so I speak to the universe, God, whatever you want to call it.
Say God.
Yeah,
talking to God and God will provide.
And I was like, you know, and at that point, I was right about was talking to Food Network, and I was like, I don't know where this is going to take me. I know that my talents are yours, and I have full faith in you. And I know, like, I had a come to Jesus moment basically. And ever since then, like, I stopped having like plans for myself, and it's more like, let me keep doing what I'm doing now, because
you're working every day towards
the opportunities that are going to come because they're meant for me.
Right.
Like, I'm not competing with anyone. No. What's meant for me is already mine. So when people are like, where do you see yourself? I was like, I just see myself happy. I see myself fulfilled.
And working in this industry.
I would love to have some kind of impact. Like my overall
dream.
Yeah, my overall dream is
to.
That's
what's next. Where do you see it? What do you want to do next?
I want to make content with food to tell stories.
Okay.
I think that's what connects us all, especially in a weird fucking time that we're at right now. Yeah. Food connects us all. I would love to make content that talks about the immigrant story, because that's my story.
I don't know if you saw it. Well, I'm sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off. But they were saying how, I don't know which comedian or if it was a comedian or not.
Oh, I know.
The taco thing?
Yeah.
They were like, well, stop eating tacos if Mexicans
Yeah.
have to go.
Trevor Noah, yeah.
Was it his thing?
Yeah. And then he
him.
had a food truck go out and give tacos all over New York or something like that.
I don't know what it was, but it's like, well, if you don't like Mexicans, but you want to keep the tacos. Like, the tacos came from them. Stop eating tacos.
Yeah.
And they love Taco Tuesday.
Yep.
Because when you go to Rocco's, all you see is white people there.
Yep.
You know, not that
I miss Rocco's.
They don't have one here?
They do, but it's like not that good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think the main one is that one, isn't it?
This one in Fort Lauderdale. And then, but I remember the one in Orlando. I
Yeah,
loved.
that's
Yeah.
when he goes and throws $100 bills.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No, what the
So
fuck?
Is that Rocco's the main one, Carla? I think it is.
Damn.
So Cinco de Mayo, he comes
The
over in the
fuck?
helicopter and throws $100 bills. So if you guys are ever know about
Sis.
Cinco de Mayo, which is my birthday.
Hello, I know.
Oh, sorry, don't go. He throws money. There's too much of a hassle. It's not. So you see yourself telling stories and you don't know in which way that's gonna.
Yeah, I think I'm open to whatever way it manifests itself, and I know that the right people are gonna come into my life to provide that. Right now it's pretty cool. Like I have a couple production companies reaching out to me and it's like, hey, what content do you want to make?
That's amazing.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right.
Of course.
I think I just gotta keep being authentic to myself, keep telling my story, keep sharing food and talking to people.
Like Gary says.
And just and then just like being happy, that radiates out, man. People are addicted to happiness and light. So whatever way that manifests itself, and we'll see.
Let's go to unsolicited advice.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. Yes. El chisme. Dame el chisme. Espérate, let me make some cafecito.
Yeah. This one, who was this one? Oh, okay. Well, I figured since you're married.
Okay.
It says, hey, I'm in a bit of a dilemma. Well, not really. I'm just going to post cliff notes because if you're anything like me, then you hate reading long posts. Like, I don't wear my fucking glasses, and I know that I'm old. And
Should I read it?
I think I read it. Met him in May this year after relocating to a smaller town. He's a police officer and in the military. When I met him, he said he wasn't married and didn't have a girlfriend. I always ask right away. Kept acting funny after work every day. I kept asking him why. He said because he doesn't use the phone much after work, basically. Yeah.
It's a lie, sis. It's a lie.
Right. After me asking 1,000 times, he finally admitted that he had someone he was just fucking with. We didn't have sex until the second month of knowing each other. He's quite the gentleman. Actually, doesn't Steve Harvey say 90 days?
Dique. Whatever. I'm still married and I did it a week later.
I did it the first night and it's been almost 6 years.
Oh, gosh.
We were just talking about on the way here because I saw a post like, don't sleep with him on the first night.
Whatever.
I kind of did.
It's like, lock them in.
Anywho, it says, I have an uncanny sixth sense, so I decided to Google him with marriage after his name. The wedding registry pops right up.
Oh.
Goes to a lady's Facebook registry, and I saw he got married after we met each other.
Oh.
I also found out that he's a minister.
Ay, qué escándalo. Jesus.
I cut things off, but he insisted on wanting us to deal with each other still. Showed up on my doorstep a couple of hours ago in the pouring rain saying he needs me in his life and we don't have to have sex. I told him I don't feel comfortable messing with a married man on any type of level. He says it's okay as long as we repent.
What?
This man is crazy. He's definitely not good at playing the game. I know it will never go anywhere romantically. I just think it's wild that he's actually a minister and doing all this foul shit.
Ew.
I caught feelings for him as a single man, and he says that he's never wanted to tell me because he knew it would run me off. Duh.
Ew.
She's like, I did try to extort him into giving me hush money, and he didn't do it. So eventually I told his wife and threatened to send some screenshots to the church, which I didn't. I just really wanted to know, what do you think of him? I told him he was a sociopath and he refuses to acknowledge so.
Oh my God, this chisme is hot.
So when I read the last question, I'm reading it on the way here, and the question is, I want you to know what I think of him. And I wasn't even thinking of him.
She told us everything.
I'm thinking of her. I said, I think you're kind of the ain't shit person. Why? First of all, you are grown. He showed you that he was married. He showed you all these things. Why are you hitting up his wife? Leave it alone. Why? Like, he showed up to your doorstep. Don't open the door.
Okay.
Like, that's it. It's a married man. He's a shitty person. He's probably always going to be a shitty person. But why are you even trying to extort him?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's her ego. Like, that's her ego wanting to get him back.
I was like, why are you trying to get money out of this dude?
This is just messy as fuck.
So
Run.
messy.
Run. You don't need that drama in your life. And if you're entertaining that, you gotta think about why is it that I'm putting myself in this situation and allowing myself to give attention to the situation.
And she's a damn lie. I don't know why. It just made me feel some type of way with her because she's like, I'm not comfortable messing with that man in any way.
But you
extort
are
him?
kind of. Yeah, no.
So you're willing to deal with him by extorting you? He
No.
could have took your ass to jail.
Yeah.
Like blackmail is a crime.
Damn.
So yeah, what do I think of him? He's a cheater. He's a liar. He's going straight.
He
to hell,
showed you.
to hell.
He showed you who he is, like very clearly, and you're still like,
yeah. And you talking about you gonna send stuff to the church, girl?
that's messy.
Like
That's real
but I
messy.
didn't. You at least said it. Like
That's like I said, the straight ego, like wanting to be like, you hurt me, now I'm gonna hurt you,
right?
and then hurt people.
And
So it's like, what's
out pretty quick that he was married.
Yeah, run.
Right.
No, thank you.
How often? No. What would you do if some chick hit you up talking about? I don't know that she was. I don't know what I would do. Actually, I do know what I did. I beat his ass. And I thought I was gonna get with him. The first time I found out that he cheated on me, which is my boyfriend now, it was the first time I actually knew of someone cheated on me because I've said this on him before. Even though I dealt with a man that was married, I didn't know at first, and then it didn't feel that way, like at all. And so my first time feeling cheated on was my boyfriend now. And I tell you, I killed him. Car was fucked up. Shit was broken. I'm going.
Damn.
And then after that all happened, it hit me. And I'm like, bitch is ugly too. I'm like, you could have chosen a pretty one. Like she was so ugly. Like
cheating is just messy, man. It's messy. I've been cheated on. I've cheated.
How did you react the first time?
The first time I was like way too calm for my own good. Like that's how you know it was like scary. He was playing basketball with his boys. This was in college. And someone told me like, go on his Facebook, bitch. You know, like that little monster like on your shoulder. Go on his Facebook. Check his fucking messages. I was like, okay. So I went on my Facebook and his shit was still logged in. And he was like talking to this girl this whole time. Like, yeah, I'll see you then. And like, and I was like looking at dates and timestamps and shit. And I was like, this motherfucker slept with somebody else while we were together. Ooh. I was like, bet. So guess what I did? I fucking straightened my hair, put on makeup, packed all his shit, and that was in my dorm.
What the bitch? That's
I know.
Shit.
Oh no, I was like way too calm for my own good. And then I really wanted to run up in the fucking basketball game, throw his clothes everywhere. I'm like, fuck you, you know? But I was like, let me calm down. And I walked up to him and I was like, I asked you one time and one time only. I was like,
why do we do that? Just so you know.
I was like, ooh, I really just wanted to like print out the screenshots and shit. I was like, have you been with someone while we were together? He's like, no, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, really? Because I went on your Facebook and da-da-da. This was like back in like college. So like people would like used to talk to each other on Facebook. Bro, his face like turned pale and white and he fell to the ground. I was like, here's your shit.
Falling to the ground, bitch. It was falling somebody's panties earlier.
Okay. But no, like, I just, with cheating, it's messy. You should just like dip out before it gets like that. Or just be honest. And nowadays,
bro,
let me talk.
The one thing I say.
Be honest.
The truth, and I will probably just be like, okay, how do we get past this? Because I'm like,
okay, I'll be really honest with you guys. Like, this is gonna, my husband's gonna kill me talking about this. So maybe I'm like not gonna tell him to listen to this podcast. But we got married super fast, and I met like the fuckboy situation I had that didn't go to Costa Rica. I thought that was like gonna be the love of my life, and He was older than me, and ended up like messing with him again, and that shit was a hot fucking mess. Like he had a whole ass girlfriend and I had no idea. I found out when she was like knocking on the door in the morning, like hot mess. And I'm like, I'm glad I dodged that bullet.
Right.
Peace. So I moved to Miami and I met my husband within 2 weeks. Like it was really fast.
He got in them DMs quick.
Yeah. No. Right. No, but it was really fast. And like, I realized like I wasn't emotionally, and my husband and I have talked about this now. I was like, I wasn't emotionally ready to give myself completely yet. And I was kind of selfish because my husband was ready to give himself emotionally.
How many years are you guys apart?
He's 1 year younger than me.
Okay,
yeah. And I realized like I still had feelings for this guy. So long story short, I ended up reaching out to this guy again, and it turned a whole fucking deal. Like it was bad because he again never mentioned he had a girlfriend. His girlfriend went through the text messages and stuff. messaged my husband, and the whole, it was, and thank God my husband was like, let's talk about this. What's the deep?
When he asked, did you lie?
No, I was honest.
Exactly.
I was honest. But again, like it.
Not that makes it any better.
Right.
I'm not telling y'all to go cheat and then come and tell the truth.
Right. But when we dug deeper versus just being like reactive instead of like digging what's the core issue. Right. Why is it that I feel like I need to reach out to this person even though we're together? Like I realized I was like, shit, I wasn't emotionally ready to give myself to you. And then like all these things revealed itself. So now that I've gone through that situation with my husband and now we're at a really good place, I feel like with cheating especially, it's like if you think you're going to, you need to pause and be like, why is it that I feel like I need to do this? If you have the emotional maturity to do that,
absolutely, because
that's number one.
One thing I cannot stand, and I think her and I were listening to a podcast on the way here, and they're like, cheating is not a mistake.
No, it's a conscious effort.
It takes time
and planning and sneaking. Yeah.
And the moment you know what you're doing. Yeah. You don't just slip and fall on the dick, or you don't just slip and fall on the pussy. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way. You have to meet them, then you have to keep talking. You realize you're talking, then you meet. I mean, there could be a one night stand, but at the same time, you meet somewhere in public. You're not meeting in a room. People don't just show up to the Motel 8 to room 108. Right. You know. So unless you go to sex school, I guess. I don't know, but it's not a mistake. It's a conscious choice right. that you make. So if you are mature enough to not say it was a mistake and to say, if I'm with someone, maybe I'm not in love with them anymore. Mm-hmm. Break up with them or sit down with them and say that the spark is not there anymore. Do we fix it or do we let it go? Because I'm feeling this way. And I would appreciate that. So that whenever my boyfriend and I are having issues, and we just went to counseling. I wasn't talking about it. We just went to counseling.
I want to do that.
You should.
I know. We don't have the time to, but I really want to do it. Because counseling.
Online. My therapist, what? Girl, she's fucking
Send me the number.
She's so good.
I want to do counseling because I was a psychology major and I learned with counseling, you're getting the tools how to communicate before there's an issue.
The thing is that I'm so good at helping others.
Yeah. But
I can unpack and break down why you're this way, but with me, I'm such a hothead. And I can't break down for my own situations. So I've been going to see her for a while. Mm-hmm. And there's been so many changes within my life recently. Like leaving my job and doing this,
you're glowing, first of all. You're glowing. And it's not, pregnant.
Hell no.
No,
girl,
but you're glowing. No.
The dog.
You are glowing. And there's definitely like been a change in you where it's radiating and it's happiness at all the levels. Yeah.
Also our relationship.
Yeah.
Because now it's new for him. It's new for me. It's a new me, kind of different schedules, different things that I'm passionate about. So it started becoming a problem, and so he kind of like drew back a little. Okay. And now I'm like, what? You don't like me no more? so you better tell me you're not in love with me no more. So you love me, but you're not in love with me. So what is it? And
he's like, I just don't want to talk today.
No, he doesn't talk at all. So he doesn't speak his feelings ever.
See, my husband's the opposite. He just talks a lot. No. And I'm like, I don't want to talk right now.
No, this one has his arm. So we came to my therapist and I found out one thing. I'm fidgety and I'm anxious. Mm-hmm. So my fidgeting and going and doing this, it's his arms crossed and not talking. And saying, I'm fine. This motherfucker been telling me I'm fine for 6 years. I said, if you tell me I'm fine one more time,
shit,
I swear I'm going to lose my shit. So she gave us this like feelings wheel, and I'm fine is not on there. Fine is not one of the words, but there's like 100 different like feelings.
Love that.
So therapy is really, really important. I was like, you know what? Before we kill each other or end the relationship that we don't even know why we're ending it or why we're so frustrated. We're going through changes, and I know that for myself, but I wasn't taking it into consideration with him. So we went to it, and it's like now I'm like, oh, this is so much better. Yeah. She's like, no, but Carla, you see what you're doing there, and I'm like.
Someone's calling you out in your shit. I was
like, bro, you're my therapist. Come on now.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not
no. That's awesome.
So she's really, really good, and she's the type that I'm talking like this nigga. She's like, yeah, but that nigga this, and I'm like, oh, this bitch. And then sometimes she said, sound pussy. Oh,
I was like, oh, she curses. I like her.
She curses. She'll laugh with you. So find the right one. It took me 4 to get to her. 4 different ones, and I talked about that before too, but. If you guys ever want to do it, I'll send you her info.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
We do it as often as it's just like $100 an hour. Okay. Something. I don't know how much.
Yeah, it's so important.
Just like if you're going by yourself or the thing, but she does Skype stuff, so I know if I ever.
That's awesome.
Her. And I called her last minute because I didn't want to be fighting with him before Miami. Mm-hmm. And I said, I need you before I go to Miami. I need to come in with my boyfriend. She's like, tomorrow 9 a.m. And I'm like, I'll be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really good. So. going back to this unsolicited advice, I think she just needs to move on and get her own.
Run.
Shit happens. You'll find people that cheat.
Yeah.
And then for us, I think it was great that you brought it and you were open about it, because I know some people will probably think, I'm just sending a message. Why are you sending that message?
No, that's honestly, and I felt like shit about that. And I'm so uncomfortable speaking about this, but I'm sure it'll help somebody, because we've all done that at some point or another. And I'm very fortunate to have my husband who he's a hot temper. He was able to like take a breath and was like, what's the core issue?
Mature him.
Yeah, and I was like, at that point, like that was such a huge point in our relationship that was like, it was supposed to hurt us, but it made us so much stronger, because we were able to put our feelings of anger aside and let's communicate with words versus feelings.
You get married soon.
Yeah, no, it's so important. Like, and to give each other, knowing how each other communicates is huge. I think in a relationship. Yeah, I have that book right there.
Yes. 5 love languages.
Yeah,
Really good.
it's so important how, you each communicate with him. He wants to talk right away, and I'm more like, I don't want to say shit because I'm about to hurt your feelings with these mean ass words.
So I'm
like, give me a second. Give me a second.
I'm working on not saying hurtful things, because I will use
taking a breath.
Since I'm changing my life of not fighting and not hitting first, so because I used to use my words and my fists, so I took away my fists, and now I got an AK-47 with no safety. So I'm ready to shoot right through you and like kill you with
it's
words.
an everyday thing to take a breath before you speak out of emotions.
So
But with relationships, it's hard. Like people, like, not to keep coming off topic, but words fucking hurt and words stick with you no matter what. And what's said in anger, you will always remember that shit in the back of your mind. Be like, I remember, even though you apologize, like, I remember you said my dick was little or some shit. Like, you're like, or whatever. Like, and, exactly.
Sitting over here. I was just kidding.
And the back of my mind's like, nah, she said my dick was little on April 4th at 5 o'clock. Like,
oh, but it's big now. Nah.
No.
So why it's smaller? It's little because you had a bigger one. So you don't think about the
but like,
to me,
for real.
words don't hurt. Well, they do, but because I say things and I don't mean them, and I'm just like, oh, I forget about things, or I get into a fight, and then 5 minutes later, literally, we can fight right now, go at it, like 5 minutes. I'm like, let me clean your nose real quick because you're bleeding.
Yeah.
Let's go eat. That was my dad.
You're like explosive, and then once you said everything you said, you're like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
But then you have to think about the other person, be like, how did my words affect that person?
Right, so
yeah.
I'm working
Shit, girl, I am too.
That's probably working on. Being considerate of others' feelings, because I'm like, come on, get over it with me.
Oh, same. I tell my husband all the time, it's like, get over it. And he's like, you're not allowed to tell me when. Like, he's younger than me. He's a year younger than me, but maturity, like emotionally. And I always said, I'm not gonna date anyone that's younger than me. I'm not gonna take a broke guy. I don't want to know. He needs to be financially independent. And girl, when I met my husband, he was making $125 a week. And he saved 2 paychecks to take me to this really nice restaurant on our first date. Like, and he told me, he looked at me dead in my eyes, and I was like, I fell for this fucking lie. It wasn't a lie, but he was like, I don't have a lot of money. I'm not baller. I'm not one of these guys you used to date. I'm not older than you, but I will love you and I will support you. And if you stick with me,
Your panties got wet.
I was like, bitch, bust it open on my handstand. What? I was like, I love you. And like, he fed me bacon the first time we hung out. So I was like, I love you so much. Like, whatever. But seriously, like, you never really know, but yeah.
You don't.
That's my
listen.
I love him.
We definitely went on.
Oh, wow.
I can't even say we went over on time. It's the beauty of it. It's my shit.
Yeah, girl.
I can say what I want.
I'm very curious to see how this is going to turn out, because I just speak all over the place.
No, you don't all over the place at all. I loved it. I had fun. I knew it was going to be like this because we have so much in common.
Yeah, and we've known each other for so long, too. We've seen each other through, like, so many different phases.
I know.
Literally so many different phases. And I'll get a little emotional here. I'm very proud of you. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Okay. Look away, and I will speak my heart right now. I'm so proud of you as a woman, as a Latina. You're a mother, and you fucking do it. And you were scared, and you bitch, don't look at me. I'm very emotional, but I'm so proud of you, and I'm always gonna be your fan, and I love seeing your progress and how inspirational you are to people, how you're yourself and you motivate other people. You're literally everyone's best friend on Instagram, and it's like, I'm like, how did this bitch become best friends with my best friend? Like, what? Like, and I'm so proud of you, and I know nothing but amazing things are gonna come for you. I see it in your future. You're I just can't fucking wait. I'm so proud of you. Oh, bitch, can we eat lasagna now?
We probably need to tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah.
How they can find you, how they can book you, all that.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at It's Zoe Kelly, ITSZOEKELLY. You can, or just like stalk me from your Instagram. And I'm really active on there. You can also go to my website, itszoekelly.com.
It's so cool, the website.
Thank you. I did it myself. Oh gosh.
I'm like, damn, I've been procrastinating with this fucking website. And pop up with a new one. I'm like, pressure.
It took
pressure
me
she did it,
so long. Yeah. Talk about being an entrepreneur, having to be your own graphic designer, web designer, fucking everything in one. But yeah, it's Zoe Kelly to find my website. And you can also book me as your private chef from there. You can catch me on Tastemade as well. Doing some fun, stupid. You can catch me on Tastemade. Doing some, I have a show out right now called
YouTube, right?
Taste Off. Yeah, it's a digital series called Taste Off where I go to LA's best restaurants. And then
So cool.
bitch, I got paid to eat donuts and eat tacos. I'm like, how is this my life right now? This is amazing. We go to eat different restaurants in LA, then we come back to the studio and recreate it in under 30 minutes. And it's me and my co-host, Darrell. And we battle. It's like a guy girl, like, you know, dynamic. And we battle out to see who can do it best. And it's awesome because we get to tell a story at the same time and eat. So you can catch that on YouTube. Yeah, and just stalk my life. And, you know, I'm pretty cool. You can like hang out with me on my DMs and
I'm so
talk.
proud of you.
Thank you.
Because sometimes you look for someone that's doing something like you. And when I feel those days when I'm down, but you are putting out content, I'm like, okay.
And vice versa. And vice versa. I'm on Netflix and like this, but she's like, oh, my weekly show. I'm like, damn, weekly shows are hard, bitch.
So hard to come up with content, but hey, right now I'm here. I'll record 3
This is good. We
times.
have like I said, I'm at home a lot, so you are definitely a digital support system for me, and I know I can text you and call you anytime, and vice versa. Thank you for having me. I thought I was gonna cry too.
No,
I cry so much. I'm such a crybaby.
No, and then when I cry.
Oh, then we just all fucking cry. Thank you guys for. Oh, can I do an ASMR real quick? Follow me on It's Zoe Kelly. We can eat lasagna together. I just always want to do that. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere you listen to your podcast. And if you want consultation or you're starting your own podcast, hit me up at calendly.com/Carla Renato. I will have that on here as well.
Hit her up.
I might read it next, but I'll probably tag the next review. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Adios.
Woo.